All right, happy Tuesday, everyone. I believe it's Tuesday. It has been a hectic start to the week. Tuesday it is, yeah, man. All right, we're gonna get straight into it. Yeah, we're gonna hit both crypto and Forex in the one today. Hopefully it's not too long of a video. I'm gonna sort of, I'll do it structured. I did just have a virtual alert pop up, so we'll see what's happening there. I like what I'm seeing. We can then make this be our potential first deviation here, so we'll see what happens. I do need prices to start coming back down for this regardless, so we'll see what happens. Maybe there is some form of overlapping demand below. That would be ideal. I don't think there is. No, this is not valid demand because it has all been mitigated. Yeah. Okay, so not necessarily valid demand here. What I will do is put an alert just for us to start getting some sort of pullback in here, and we'll see what happens. All right. What I will do is go to Forex before I do anything else, and then we will finish up in crypto. So if you obviously want to skip all the good stuff in Forex, by all means go ahead and do that. You might just catch some interesting moves. Tuesday to Thursdays are normally like the most sort of action-packed days in Forex. So yeah, that's also kind of why I am prioritizing this. All right, hourly, I feel like we have switched the sentiment to bullish by now. On the hourly, we have. And I just want to make sure that I'm updating this as well because I have not updated it for a bit, as in for like since the end of last week. Okay, bullish. Let's have a look on the 4 hour. And still bearish across the board there, daily. Still bearish on the daily as well, so everything remains the same. I'm just gonna silence my notifications. Not much more to do in oil, to be completely honest. Once again, we don't want to force anything. Just let price do its thing. We're still bullish on the weekly, still bullish on the daily, and then 4 hour bearish, and then 1 hour bullish. So we'll leave that as is. Our, I may as well put an alert here. Other than that, our targets are still set. Silver, let's see what that's doing. Nice liquidity forming here. We're still, oh, actually, you know what? We're still bearish on the alley, because moving down, if we look at market structure moving down, yeah, this is not a break of structure because we have not swept this low. So this is the market structure low. If we swept this low and then broke structure, then yeah, bullish, and we haven't broken this, so we are still bearish on the 1 hourly. So yeah, we can go up, we can go as high as here and still move back down, and that is still just a continuation of our market structure. Like price is allowed to do that. It's still a downtrend. So yeah, given this, we're still bearish. Obviously, we'd still be bearish on the 4 hour for sure. Still bearish on the daily. Yes, we still are. And then we are still bullish on the weekly. So yeah, given this, I'm not really going to pay much attention anymore to this whole range. I'm not really interested in it. Even that demand and liquidity below, it's just too low time frame. Liquidity we can still monitor, but not as much the demand. And then yeah, everything remains the same. We're obviously running through this demand. And sentiment as well. Yeah, like we're still bearish here. We probably have left some supply above. I just want to have a quick look and make sure that this is correct and that we're drawing it correctly. Because obviously if this has been mitigated on the lower time frame, then I'm no longer interested in this supply as a block. Okay, it is mitigated on the lower time frame, but there might be some form of overlapping supply. That's been mitigated. Yeah, this whole move has pretty much been mitigated with the exception of this. So you have some refined supply right there. This has been mitigated. Yeah, so this is pretty much your only real supply that you can use. Other than that, everything else has been mitigated. And yeah, other than that, we're still bearish, of course. So the thing that would interest me the most is we pull in here and we get some local distribution and move back down. Can this be an accumulation? Potentially, because there is supply above, so you can come up higher and you are in demand. So I would allow this. Honestly, I would. And you do have Asia highs here, Asia lows have been taken. You know what? I'll actually allow this if we get a quality confirmation. I will happily allow an entry on this, and you can even like target Asia highs. And you've got liquidity above. This could be quite like a semi counter context move, but let's have a look at our POIs in here. From a POI perspective, yeah, you've kind of got like a double-edged sword here. Liquidity and demand. And so far we're respecting demand. Yeah, like this is valid demand. Structurally though, you can only really look for a break here. Like on it, like if we break this market structure high, pretty much enter here. I will allow an entry here, but same thing. You'd kind of want to enter on. You'd kind of want to enter on a pullback, because if you enter here and your stops here, that's only going to give you borderline a 1.5, and if you're lucky, you get a 2.85 targeting here. Like I'd want at least a 2 just for this range, then I can de-risk and maybe get like a 3 to 4 targeting this Asia high. So ideally I would want a clean break, slow pullback into some market maker demand, and then enter here on a retest of market maker demand break, and it'll be like a tight, fairly tight position with like a tight stop, and that give you like a, let's say 3 to 5, 3.5 approximately, and then you can obviously target your Asia highs up here. So that's kind of the pre-planning here. I will set the alerts on both. And we will see what happens there. I'm just gonna draw my pre-planning just so it's easier for me to remember what I was thinking when going back to the alerts and looking at this. So hypothetically, we have not swept the liquidity below, and then we do something like that. That is what I would like. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Like honestly, ideally if we sweep this, that would be even better. It's just that extra level I don't have to worry about. And there does seem to be some refined demand below. If this hasn't been mitigated, then I'm definitely going to look out for this getting mitigated prior. And if it has, then further fuel to the fire. And that is not valid because we have an inside bar candle, but it's probably valid on the lower time frames. Let's be real here. Yeah, it is. Like, we can definitely monitor it. And you have this refine area, which hasn't, like, if we get a mitigation here and a break structure, then you can really, I'd even go 1% risk here, because you just know that there's nothing else. Fuck, what have I done? There's nothing else holding, like, price has grabbed everything it's had to before potentially reversing, so, like, keeping that in mind. if we get a mitigation here and a break, then I'm like, bang, that's a 1%. That's a 1% entry right there. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Alerts are set. Not much more to do. Gold. We are ripping through this demand, like properly ripping through this demand. This is no longer a range of interest for me. Like, you can't just keep making extended taps and entering on the extended taps. You know what I mean? So given all this, I'd hate to say, but we're still bullish on the hourly. And we're still bearish on the hourly, on the 2 hourly. Sorry, not much has changed here for gold, to be completely honest. Bearish on the 4 hour. Yeah, still bearish on the 4 hour. If we look at our market structure, when have we broke structure back up? We haven't. We're just ranging in between this swing high and swing low. So still bearish. What I would do is put a little bit of emphasis on whatever supply is in here, if there is correct supply in here. By the looks of it, it seems like there is. That's been mitigated. However, this has not. And then I'm obviously going to zoom in on the lower time frame just to make sure that nothing has been mitigated on the lower time frame. There's obviously no overlapping here, and there's also quite nice liquidity right here. So a lot can happen here. All right, I'm not really interested in this range anymore, to be completely honest. Yes, we've accumulated there, that's fine. But actually, it's not really a valid accumulation because we've never hit a range high, so. So yeah, we remain bullish and bearish in the 2 hour to daily time frame. So yeah, I will be looking for a retest there, and then there's also liquidity below, which is something that we should just be aware of. Like so, perfect. Yeah, and that's kind of it for now. Not much more to do at the moment. Let's check on silver. How are we doing? Give it some time. All right. Into Forex, Euro USD. Well, we had this accumulation. We had this distribution, which I did not enter. Yesterday it was a very, very low time frame. 12 hours, that's actually quite decent, to be completely honest. I will quickly journal this before anything. I'm just starting to get into the habit of journaling even in trades I don't take, just so I can see what price ended up doing. So bear with me a minute here, and that way I can see exactly where I could have entered, which we will figure that out here, pretty much right here. The only bad thing about this is that Asia low and high have been taken. Which I will make very clear that it has been. Return to zone's actually perfectly going into this, which is something that we like doing, is having lining your return up perfectly with this break of structure. We'll add that to the not taken trades. This would have been entered on 25th of May, 11 PM. That would have been pre New York. TCT Model 1, that is. Quality return to zone. Risk to reward would have been a 2.64. We'll add that image in before I forget. There's probably some range inefficiency there. Okay, not quite. Yeah, fairly inefficient range, somewhat. Oh yeah, we've obviously left supply in the meantime. You even had an opportunity to re-enter here upon the mitigation of supply that was in here. Right there. That is actually quite nice. Single key takeaway, I'll say return to zone. Came all the way up to, also it came nicely on, yeah, nicely all the way up to the point of break of structure. Boom. Sweet, alright. I have journaled this, now we can move on. Okay, given we have just completed a distribution range, bullish, are we still bullish on the hourly? I have a feeling no. No, we are now bearish on the hourly. Bam, bam. Bam, that's our market structure high. We're switching these around. This is the structure on the 4 hour. We're in downtrend, 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 downtrend. Boom, structure has been broken on the 4 hour. So we are now bullish on the 4 hour, bearish on the 1. Perfect. Daily, I think, remains bearish. Yes, because we did SFP this. Yeah, not much more to do here for Euro USD. Let's move on to Euro NZD. We're definitely bullish. We're definitely bullish here, running through just about everything. Let's draw our hourly structure. Bearish, bullish. That is also my speaker that has died, so it has gone flat, I believe. I think it has. Has my speaker gone flat? Well, we'll keep moving forward. Yeah, we're now bearish. And we've, yeah, regardless, we've broken structure in here. Bang. So we are bullish on the hourly, probably bullish on the 4 hourly, I have a feeling. No, are we still bearish on the 4 hour? I have a feeling we are still bearish. Let's draw our structure. Broken to bearish. Yeah, still bearish. So we will redraw that. that remains, and then daily, we'll have a look at that as well. All right, we are still bearish on the daily. So yeah, this could be a nice POI for a pullback, at least from a daily perspective. So I would definitely look for a potential distribution here. You are in supply. You're in a lot of supply. This high's already grabbed quite a bit of stuff. Supply's been mitigated. Like, it's not a whole lot to grab here. You do have supply here. Definitely do. Yeah, not a whole lot to do at the moment for Euro USD. Just be patient. We're also leaving demand in the process. Quite hefty demand, to be completely honest. Bear with me, I'm just going to open my window. Well, this isn't doing anything. Okay, perfect. Yeah, alerts have been set, just be patient here. Like overall we're still kind of bullish, but we're just bearish on the 4 hour, which is something to be mindful of. GBP, JPY. So far I'm really liking what this is doing. Obviously we're in this range, but then we're potentially creating a little distribution here, which is something to, yeah, once again, just be mindful of. See where we are. I'm not looking to trade anything at the moment here. Just playing the waiting game. We will move on there. Definitely bullish on, bearish on the hourly now. That's fine. So that can be changed. Still bearish on the 4 hour. Yes, we are. We've also mitigated supply, so a nice POI here. Not a whole lot at the moment. I would just be mindful of what price does here. Like you've got this demand and you've also got a CME gap in between, which I'm curious to see if it's been filled on the hourly. Yeah, it's still there on the hourly. So this will most likely get filled at some point. If we can catch it, like ideally you'd want a distribution. So if we can catch a distribution here, you can have a lot of reason to short this because we're overall bearish and there's also a CME gap below. So if we can do something like this, I would be very happy with that. So we have our alerts set there as well. NZD, CAD. I think we had a little distribution here as well. But what I did not like about this, very, very simple. Distance between tap 1 and 2. 5 hours, 21 minutes. Distance between tap 2 and 3. 6 hours, 39 minutes. This is not valid. This is not a valid trade, and I would not advise anyone to take this. Yes, it played out, but you're just playing with luck at this point. So that is not valid. If anything, you could have technically looked at this, but then that's just way too low time frame. And there's also demand below. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily look at this from a trade to do. At the moment for NZD CAD, I don't think we're bullish anymore on the hourly. I'm very surprised if we are. Okay, we're bearish on the hourly, probably bearish on the 4 hourly as well, I'm going to take a guess. No, still bullish on the 4 hour, probably still bullish on the daily as well. We certainly are, so we will just change that to bearish on the hourly. Sweet, awesome. Not much more to do. There is some demand here, which is valid. So we'll see what we do when we approach this POI. Leave that as is. Alright, I think we are still bullish here. Let's draw some structure. Yes, clearly still bullish here. We're just ranging. Like we'd still be bullish across the board here. Daily bearish. That's probably true. This would have had a shifty break of structure. Okay. Bam. Bearish. I think I know that. I think that's why. Yeah. Still bearish. We've wicked this. Yep. We had a daily SFP there. Yeah, still this remains the same, contextually speaking. Nothing of interest at the moment for this pair. This has been mitigated. Yeah. Not much more to do. I'll set some alerts just to see how we develop. Other than that, I'm not really interested at the moment in price action here. This is potentially a confirmed range. Although it is pretty high time frame. And it's also quite just a little bit too close to my liking. With this tap and then this extended tap, I don't really like it. There is demand below. We've distributed here. There's a lot going on here, as you can see. A lot going on. We've left supply here. We're probably bullish still on the... That's an inside bar candle, so that can't be bullish. So let's have a look. Bam, bam. Okay, we can now draw this better. I don't think I've changed this for a while, so consider us bearish. That's an inside bar candle. That's an inside bar candle. Yeah, we're still bearish on the hourly. Oh, we are bearish on the hourly. Change that to bearish. For hour, is that bullish? We are bullish, we're bullish, bearish, bullish somewhere. Structure's broken in here. We've broken this to bearish. Yeah, we're bearish on the 4 hour as well. Given this, I'd assume we're bearish on the daily. Yes, and we are still at play, but it's just, I have a feeling this is now invalid range. This is an invalid range. 18 days. Yeah, we're already at 18 days, so this is far extended too much, which I'm not a fan of. We've filled the CME, not a whole lot to do at the moment, just giving this some more time really. USD, JPY, still have not broken any 2 hour market structure. We're still technically bearish. This is just terrible price action. Like terrible price action. We've probably left quite a bit of demand here, which has been ever so slightly mitigated on the lower time frame. Maybe there's overlapping structure. There is. And this is our little overlapping demand POI. And we've even left demand here, which has been mitigated. So far I'm seeing signs of strength here. I think we were bullish higher time frame on this pair. 4 hour bullish, daily bearish. Interesting. Daily bearish. Okay, I can see that. Yes, that is bearish on the daily. Correct. Yeah, not much more to do here. Just see what happens if we distribute, if we don't distribute. Yeah. AUD, CAD. This is not of interest. We have swept this. And this, yeah, this kind of threw me off. Okay, given that this can all go. Where we would still be bullish on the hour. Ooh, actually, we might be bearish now. Not yet. Still bullish on the hourly. On the 4, still bullish. Sorry, are we bear? Bam, 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 bullish. Boom. Do I still copy that? No. Okay. And then daily. Probably still bullish on the daily, and rightly so. So yeah, we're fairly bullish across this whole pair. Just look for distributions, nothing yet. I would look for this CME to get filled, and I would be looking for a distribution approaching this CME gap. That is how I would approach. That's how I would approach this. Boom. Yes, we are in supply, but it has been mitigated, so there's already less things holding price. Holding price or preventing price from going up. Bearish on the 4 hour, are we? So far, just. Yes, we are. I think we're going to be bullish. No. Bullish structure was broken here. Structure was broken back to bearish. Yeah, we've closed above here anyway, so we are, as of now, bullish unless there's a little structure break in here. Yep, so we are bullish on the hourly here. Same thing, there is a CME gap below. We can use that as a potential POI for accumulations. However, we are still bearish on the 4 hour and probably still bearish on the daily. Certainly are, and of course we are quite bullish on the weekly here. So a lot to take in here. Boom. That is the pre-planning there for AUD USD. GBP NZD. I'm going to say we're pretty damn bullish here. Given we have absolutely ripped in here. All this can go. Not interested. All this can go. Not interested. Heavy, heavy demand. Like, whereas bullish as can be here on the hourly. That's easy to see from anywhere. For LA, probably very bearish there as well. Very bullish there as well, yes. Daily bearish, is that so? No, we've broken bullish structure there on daily, so yeah, all these are now bullish. And then I believe weekly would still be bearish, however. Most certainly. Bam, that's your break. Yeah, I'll just be careful here, like we are shifting to a bullish sentiment, so I would look to see how we react when we pull back into this demand, and also how we react when we pull into this supply. Expiration, open-ended, perfect, save that. Okay, AUD CHF, not interested in this, not interested in whatever was there. Those lows have been swept. Same thing, I can pretty confidently say we are now bullish on the hourly. Or are we? Bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish. Still bullish. That's why. That is why. We never broke. Never broke structure to bearish on the hourly there. So that is bullish. I'm just going to take a seat. And it looks like we are in the process of leaving behind demand. Four hourly, bearish, still bearish on the 4 hourly, so that remains. And then technically we're now bearish on the daily. Like, I'll count that as a break of structure. Oh no, we're just SFPing it because it's not the next candle. So borderline still bearish on the daily, and on the weekly bearish. Interesting. Probably. Yeah, that's fine. So can expect pullbacks at any point, really. But at the moment, not really a whole lot. For AUD CHF. GBP AUD still, plan is still falling to fruition. Bearish, bullish. Yeah, we're still bullish on the hourly there. And then still bearish everywhere else. Yeah, this remains the same. This was completely invalidated and we never got any confirmations, and it never looked like a range in the first place. I'm going to delete all of this. And then we may have broken to bullish, or we've SFP. No. Bam, bullish. Cop that. Bullish. But have we broken back to bearish on the daily? On the hourly, sorry. No, we have not. Still bullish. daily is still bearish, so this remains. This remains, and we could be approaching a key POI here. There is supply above, which is something we should be aware of. This probably has been mitigated on the lower time frame. I'm going to pretty confidently say that. Okay, no, it hasn't. Very clear supply. So we could be at quite a interesting pivotal crossroad soon, which is something that should be looked at eventually. Yeah, bullish. I don't need that there anymore. So yeah, definitely going to want us to hit this PI, and then hopefully a local model presents itself when we reach this POI, and then we might be able to get a sneaky short here. So we'll see what happens. Euro GBP. Yeah, that's fine. Euro GBP, I think I looked at this. We've ran through the 3-hour OBIF, showcasing signs of weakness. And they're now technically still bearish because we're just continuing to SFP this. So we will see if that sentiment soon turns to bullish, and it can. It might. We'll see. But not a whole lot to do at the moment for this pair. I'm going to have a quick scan through crypto and see what on earth is going on here. Bitcoin is approaching some form of demand. Definitely would not be trading this as a third tap just because of how much it's expanded. However, this can very well be a confirmed Model 1. Just not something, a model I would really like, because it's too market structure like. So honestly, we'll see what happens here. There is liquidity, there's still liquidity to the left, and there is demand below. So signs are a little higher at the moment for Bitcoin. USDT dominance looks like it's potentially accumulating as well. We've completed this accumulation. And then we've obviously still got this much larger accumulation at play here. So just be mindful of that. There's a lot of things that can happen here. This could be a tap 1, tap 2, maybe a tap 3 somewhere here in the higher time frame, and then we can continue going up. Like, so much can happen at the moment. Let's remove this. Supply below, a supply above, demand below. Just watch the levels for what they are. Don't overcomplicate this. This is not an accumulation, because you can't start from, you can't draw your range from here. And it's left supply above. No, I don't like this price action here. just be patient. Contextually speaking, you've completed an accumulation. Now you kind of just want to look at market structure, really. Like, that's pretty much all it is. On the hourly, we are bullish. You know what? Hourly bullish. Let's get our little I'm not going to do this for all pairs. I'm just going to do this for USDT and Bitcoin. Hourly bullish, 4 hourly. Bullish. Daily. Daily is bearish. And then weekly is very much bullish here. That's fine. Let's just see what silver has done. Interesting. We have also left supply above. Don't need this anymore. I do feel like just looking at this price action, unless we start wicking, I do feel like this is going to continue going lower, but we'll see. From a market structure low, we have a... I'm technically going to use this 5-minute low. It's just not nice, is it? Like, you've got a 2-minute low right there, and then you got, yeah, I'm going to have to use this 5-minute high. Sorry, not low. I'm going to have to use this 5-minute high. Okay, now, given we know the context for USDT dominance, let's get some Bitcoin context. I kind of just expect the opposite here. Hourly we're bearish. Let's see how good this correlation is. 4 hourly should be bullish. No, 4 hourly is also bearish. Interesting. Daily. Daily is bullish. No structure has been broken there. And then weekly would definitely be bearish. Yep, weekly's bearish. Okay, similar. Yeah, so interesting, semi-interesting context here. So we're expecting Bitcoin lower. It is leaving demand, however, as semi-distributed. So we'll see what happens there. And then USDT dominance is expected to go higher in the short term, so expect alts to go lower. ETH, I'm just going to skim through these ones, and if anything catches my eye, I will obviously chart it. Okay, Asta, mitigated demand. We expect lower, remember. We are expecting alts to go lower. Just be mindful here. You're in a confirmed accumulation, but we can clearly see we're distributing here. And we're expecting alts to go lower, so just remember that. Best sign for to de-risk would be seeing what price does with this demand. If we respect it, you can stay risk on. If we break through, I would immediately de-risk here. However, so far it's leaving nice buy side liquidity, so I would say you could be safe if you have entered, but just be mindful. Render. Well, this high time frame distribution is kind of becoming invalidated here. Not a lot to do there, cake. Pretty much going to confirm this accumulation by the looks of it, almost. It's not confirmed yet. Distribution A++ for Litecoin. Actually, no, I lied, sorry. We would have been stopped out had we entered. I didn't enter on this because I wasn't awake for any confirmations. As you can see, you would have been stopped out because we made a 3 tap and then you've created 1 extra tap, but then you could have obviously used this as a tab 1, 2, and 3 on the higher time frame if you were paying attention. Okay, and we still have this unmitigated. Glad that I've seen this. And then demand below, which has been mitigated. We'll see what happens here. I expect supply to get taken. Doge. Range invalid now. You could potentially look at this as an accumulation, but it is counter context. You're also in a high time frame potential distribution. Keep that in mind. BNB still going to plan really, really nicely. Stay patient. Link is kind of accumulating, but we front around that demand. Not liking that. Quant is, I think it's in a confirmed model. Yes, it is in this confirmed model, which we just missed our entry. We had re-entry opportunities here, which came and went. So I had this as well yesterday and I didn't enter it because I was like, well, there's still so much supply above, but you can see exactly where I hesitated, and I think I had another opportunity to enter here, potentially. Yeah, it's not it. Maybe on the 3 minute I could have entered here. Yeah, re-entry opportunity was right here. Boom, like that. So we'll see what happens here. This is just for my non-taken trades that I journal. XMR. Not a whole lot. Sol, not a whole lot. XRP, not interesting at the moment. Pepe. There was some sort of break of structure in here. Yeah, because we swept this. So this is actually quite good, but I don't think I like the follow through here. There would have had to be a reason as to why I didn't enter. I'd like to think so. I see. We broke this low, but then we SFP'd here. So that's fair enough. And then we are also leaving this trail of liquidity above. So we'll see what happens there. Still demand below. Filecoin's not doing a whole lot in regards to the context. XLM ran through, respecting demand. Still supply above. Just be patient there. Get close to the mic. I feel like you guys can't hear me. Ton, absolutely wicking supply. Convincingly as well. Ton is looking pretty. It's looking bullish, to be honest. It's looking quite bullish. We'll see what it does with this demand. It is counter context, but it's like the pair's looking strong. Look how much demand's below us. Definitely like long this to all-time high, but you're going to need a better tight entry here for this. No doubt about that. Pump looking to distribute here. Very, very similar to, this is not a confirmed model, FYI. So we can look at a POI in here. Well, that's my extreme liquidity, which hasn't been swept yet. Just trying to see if there's anything more. Give me something more. Okay, and I can use this as extreme liquidity. Yeah, that's a much better POI, realistically speaking. So we'll see if we can sweep this. And then we're just going to have this just to monitor, so we can move pump fund up on our board here. Tau as well. I'm liking this. Liking this quite a lot actually. I just want to see a little bit more price action. These are all just too close. I need price to come back in here first. So we can move that towards the top as well. Virtual. remains. Yeah, not much more here. Trump. I don't know why I still have these two memes here. Probably shouldn't, but yeah, that's it for today. We've covered a whole lot. We've set our alerts. Thank you all for listening, for watching. Subscribe if you have made it this far. Hopefully you've all got quite a bit of value, because there was a shit ton of value in today's video. And yeah, you know what to keep an eye out for this week. Thank you all for watching. Fuck it, let's monitor this supply. Thank you all for watching. I will catch you all on the next video, and yeah, see you guys soon. Peace.